Thanks, baby.
Evening, everyone, and welcome to Avini Vibes. Today is June 26th, 2025. I'm your host, Christine Rolando, with Carol Witt right there, always by my side, and always so happy that Carol's there to support the technology. And her happy face is always there. And we just love that big smile of Carol. Dr. Nikita's in the house with us as well. Dr. Nikita, Chip Littlejohn is with us, and many of you that are guests or you come back every week, and we love to hear from you because this is a blessing to be working with the most amazing products, the most amazing leadership and company on planet Earth. We're very, very blessed, and we're here to change people's lives, to bless people, and to learn from one another. Please remember, we make no medical claims. We do not diagnose. We do not treat. We're here to listen, to learn, to share. And every week we try to bring on, no, we don't try, we do bring on the most amazing guest speakers. And I'm very, very excited about tonight's guest speaker. What we will do is we're going to keep this to about 40 minutes in respect of your time. Try to keep it 40 minutes. What we also will do is ask you to mute if you haven't already, and then we're going to have an opportunity to ask questions at the end. If I don't get to your question, if you have your hand up and time's running short, we'll always address your question next week. So hold that thought. Okay. So anyway, I would like to read a short little bio of a really cool lady that I've gotten an opportunity to talk to on numerous occasions. Ellis is a retired RN who she worked in the surgical ward and emergency room. She also worked with Veterans Affairs. And if that wasn't enough, she was in the real estate business and she owned her own various apartments. She's very athletic and she loves sports. So when she wasn't taking care of or solving problems for other people, she managed to be part of a water ski club. I wonder who may have gotten her into that, perhaps. I don't know. I see him clapping his hands. Um, so we're excited to have her here. She also rides motorcycles, encourages other women to ride, and she's even taught a safety course. The last several years, she's cared for a number of her family members who have needed her nursing skills. You can see that she has a huge heart for helping other people along the way. And you will eventually, where Bev will take care of herself also. But, with all that she's accomplished and with all of this life experience, you can see how Bev accomplished making a diamond rank within 3 years of Avini's health. That is amazing. She's an example to all of us of how to manage time, how to care for people while improving your own life, and the same things bring so much to others. Bev, come and join us. We are happy that you're here all the way from Prince Edward Island, and welcome, welcome, welcome. The floor is yours, and we want to hear a little bit about you and your journey, please.
Well, thank you, Christine. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's great to meet you. Um, uh, my story was, as you read some of it there, but I also had severe allergies, and I got sick along the way. And every time I got sick, I came home. So, and they looked after me. So I was grateful that in the end, I was able to look after them. I became well enough to look after them. But I will start with where I was. The health issues were I was dealing with fatigue so severe that I could only go out and drive for about 10 minutes, or I couldn't go to a store, a superstore. I don't know if you have them in the States there, but a big store. I could not get around a large store. And it was just, I was looking after my aunt at that time, and I'd have her propped in a chair and I'd lie on the floor because I was too tired to sit up. So that's where the fatigue was. So then the mental fog was, I was just so grateful because I got to know Marcy because the mental fog started lifting when I started the products. Now the pain, I would wake up in the morning feeling like I was run over by a truck. So that was no fun at all. And I know there's a lot of people that happens to. And then as you know, life was on, and it culminated with getting the call from the doctor that no one wants to get. So I had unhealthy cells. So that night I called a friend in Halifax to pray with me. He was a pastor. And then what happened with that was he said, sure, I'll do that, but I want you to meet a lady, Marcy. So later that night, I phoned Marcy and we had a chat and I ordered the product. And because of the allergies, I was so fearful of using the product that I put one drop in an 8-ounce glass of water and took a whole day to drink it. And so, yeah, so that was my first start with that. After a few days, when I knew that I was comfortable and was going to be okay, well, then I took the product as quickly, and at that time I had surgery, and my situation with my health was so severe that I was more worried about the surgery and going through the hospital and all the smells and all these things I'd be interacting with. Then I thought I'll deal with the other later if I survive this, right? So what I found was I had no problems. I was on the cell defender. They got me really fast, and uh, and I was on the cell defender, and I was starting to have some energy. I could sit up and talk, and I could do all these things, and so I came home and to be looked after, but I was just like a normal patient. They uh, they didn't have to have me in bed as a bed patient totally, and I was able to be up. And I remember as time went on, I ironed a shirt, and my mother said, "Are you sure you're able to do that?" That's how fatigued I was. I couldn't even iron clothes. So when I had my aunt with me, I had a neighbor across the hallway who came and took care of our meals and things like that. So coming home was quite a thing. So going through that, it was quite amazing, as you can see now. And I've heard, I looked after my dad, and I had ceiling lifts in the house, and I had hospital beds and wheelchairs that were with up to here for him, for his to hold his head and everything. And then I looked after my mom. I just lost her 2 years ago. She was 101. So so it was great. And the fantastic thing about that was the products kept her going, and didn't, she just was only in the hospital 26 hours. And the blessing of that was the doctor, she was 100% occluded in her right carotid. And the doctors could not believe that I'd had her up for breakfast that morning and that she was able to change her menu and tell me what she wanted. He could not believe it. He was astounded. But I knew, and was getting the cell defender into her to help keep things moving, and I was working at that for every 4 or 5 hours, and so it was amazing. I have other testimonies to do with my mom too, but that's how far we've come, and that's where I'm blessed to be. So I went from that kind of fatigue to being able to travel again, and actually got the summit, which is coming up again in August. So yes, so
That is absolutely amazing. So what was the time frame of that and you being first involved with Avini?
um, what do you mean the time frame
In other,
between?
in other words, you've been in Avini almost 3 years, yes?
Oh, yes, now, but I was with Avini in '06, when not Avini, but with the product. And
With
that's
Rick
why
Fox, yeah.
yeah, so that's why we're so blessed to have Avini now. It's our dream to have our own company, because, you know, CEOs change and they have ideas and they switch things around. So anyway, the time when I started and the time when I was taking care of my father, well, let's see, that was '06. November 29th, '05, but I didn't get the product like till '06. So then in '08, I was traveling and looking after my father. Yeah. So
Well,
so
you're
he
busy.
was well and rode a motorcycle till he was 81. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he sold his when he was 80, and then I said, Dad, if you don't stop riding mine, I'm going to have to sell it. So, so yeah, yeah.
Okay, and what about so then Avini starts and you got involved with Avini and you started to use, we added other products. What's your thoughts on some of the other products, your experience there? Do you take mushrooms? What do you think? And Eddie's going to do, just so you know, if anybody's a guest, we're going to cover some of the products in a little while. Eddie Akwaski's going to do that. But really wanted to hear from Bev, her personal journey and what she went through. As you know, it's exhausting, Bev, to be a caregiver. Yes.
Yes,
You're,
yes. It's more exhausting than you know because you're going day and night because when they're up at night, you're up at night. So
yeah,
getting the sleeping habits back hasn't been great, but yeah, so it's great to be able to sleep. And although I miss my mom, but
yeah,
I know she's in a better place. And
yeah.
yeah, so what was your question
Your
again?
question about using any of the other products
Oh,
personally. Yeah,
oh
do you
yes.
use any of
Well,
the other products?
I do because of my history and all those things. The immunity, I take 4 of those a day. I take two. So, yep. And that also balances our, well, it does a lot of things, as you know. And the nano silver has been such a blessing because I, woke up with a sore throat in the morning and taken that, and an hour later I had no sore throat and I was great, you know. So we're just so blessed with all these products and the plus relief. Well, it's just an awesome product, the combo that we have. And I never want to run out of any of them. So I have a good supply around of everything.
Yeah, and you're a diamond in this company. So if you're a guest, a diamond is a big deal. A diamond means that you put some work in, you've helped build. It's not just you're doing it alone. Yeah, if Pat's clapping, everybody's clapping. It's a team effort. Can you talk a little bit about that team effort that this company allows and offers, and the community that it offers? Cross line, upline, sign line, any of that. Can you share some of that experience and why that's important?
Well, that's very important, and there's no company like it when it comes to the teamwork. My motto in my life has always been, even in nursing, it was teamwork makes the dream work because you could help patients, you could get more done faster, everything. But with network marketing, I love network marketing because you can work as a team. But this company is just over the top with everybody. Well, you see such a change in people's health and wellness that you just want to help them, and everybody's wanting to help everybody else so that we all rise to the top. And and that's what it's been. Teamwork makes the dream work. We've got wonderful. The company is simply amazing because we have Rick, and then we have I'll call him his sidekick, Chip, but he's our scientist guy that we can all call and talk to, and he's awesome. And then Neil, of course, we're so blessed to have him, who's had billion-dollar experiences with other companies, and he's such a guy with heart because he's there for us, and they value us, the distributor, and we are the company, and they value that, and that's just unheard of, because a lot of companies they can they can talk it, but they can't walk. They don't walk it, and our company walks the talk.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? It really is. It's a beautiful thing when you have that support and the knowledge, right? The knowledge of the experts in the field. Like you said, Neil, expert at running billion-dollar companies, and then Rick with the best zeolite on the planet Earth.
And
Bill,
excuse me, but
go
then they
ahead.
give us Marcy, who's a master distributor, and she's got eons, experience beyond, and it's just been great because she strategizes, right? And so it's a big deal. And the fact that they brought MJ Durkin on for the mental success tracks, I mean, what company has that? That's been a huge bonus to us, right? And because Neil wants us to expand in every area of our life. He wants us to just be well and healthy in every area of our life and joyful. As MJ would say, this is the best day of my life. I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's a great opportunity. I'm getting to teach it right now in a live class with somebody that's Dave. He was a guest a couple of weeks ago today. He's wonderful, and he's not in my downline, my upline. We're both in, but it's such still that community. Everyone supports each other, and you learn from one another. Everybody's got their skills and their gifts. Bev, I want you, if you would, just share a little bit about Chip Littlejohn. You can talk about him for a moment because I want Chip to come on in a minute.
Okay, sure. I just don't want to leave Mickey Dillon out because the company was just great to add him, and he's got years of experience with us too. So Chip, well, Chip is awesome. Chip actually came up to Canada here, and he's such a blessing to me, and we have so much in common. He likes cars, and I like old cars too, and he's just amazing, and he's so awesome with everybody and helps everybody with his knowledge and I love the fact that he skis still. And yeah, so, and I hopefully we'll have him up here again soon. Hmm.
Well, he's up in a tree right now. Chip, would you unmute a minute? Chip is up in a tree, I believe, but he's joining us. Chip, you got to unmute there a minute.
Uh,
How are you doing, Chip?
you're,
Talk about your water
oh,
skiing.
I'm good. Well, I'll let you have a little peek. There's what I'm looking at while I'm sitting up in my tree.
Wow, nice, Chip.
Um, yeah, it's not a bad spot not a bad spot to work. A little while ago, I was over there taking a little rest on the hammock, and Marcy's down, and her and her sister, and Doug Griffith is here, Emerald from California, and so we're having a little picnic because he's coming through today. And yeah, so a couple of funny things about Bev. Um, what she didn't tell you, I rode with her. She took me on rides around the island, and she apparently was a moonshiner before I met her because she drives like she's running from the law. It, I see Loudon. Loudon apparently knows this too, but um, similarity between Marcy and Bev. Both of their dads were entrepreneurial, and they were the child that was entrusted to keep running the businesses. And so so then that gave them the inclination to run together, and then Robin kind of the same, and then they kind of became a team of three, and then a team of three that others would gather around. And let's see, kind of a funny little story about being up there. In everybody's yard where Bev lives, they have lobster traps because they all go lobster hunting. And the day that I was up there was the day before the first day of lobster season. And we were going to go try to find a lobster to eat, and there weren't any. The next day there would have been a jillion, but um, the lobsters get stuck in a deal kind of like we humans do. The lobster that's waiting to be eaten that was caught last year is put in a PVC pipe, one behind the other, just going one day at a time, waiting to be eaten. And we run into a lot of people whose work is like that. And how much they would love to come out and have the freedom that we have with us. I think that's my message.
Thank you, Chip. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, you're right. I had lunch with somebody today, and they said that we were talking about their health, and she shared a story about her daughter. Her daughter works in special education. She's the director of it. So much pressure, so much pressure in that position. And her other daughter is the head of nursing, and Bev will attest to this. A lot of pressure being the head of nursing. And she said, the one daughter just hates her job, hates her job. So how beautiful is this that we do have as an entrepreneur in Avini? You have the freedom and the flexibility, and very very exciting. Bev, do you want to introduce Loudon?
Sure. Loudon, like I said, is a close family friend and has been since I was about well, when knee-high to a grasshopper. and and so Loudon is a great guy. He's always been health conscious, and he's always been healthy. But he has a testimony, and he's still, as I mentioned earlier, on the bicycle and walking his subdivision, and he's biking the trails of PEI. Loudon.
You forgot to mention that I did some ice skating last spring.
Oh, right, yes. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Loudon, and I'm in Prince Edward Island as well. If you don't know where that is, it's located in the Gulf of St. Lawrence, in a very beautiful place. And my story that I want to tell tonight started in late 23. I was distressed by frequent trips to the bathroom, especially at night. I suffered severe pain in the hip and butt area. I also experienced severe pain while walking and great difficulty climbing stairs. I would have to do it hand over hand on the railing to get upstairs, to go upstairs, and even just a few stairs. And also at one stage, I had the privilege of having a catheter inserted. Anyway, I contacted a physician. He ordered blood work, and my PSA was 317, confirming that I had really unhealthy cells. My urologist ordered a bone scan, and it came back positive. I always get a kick out of that positive in the medical system. To me, it was very much of a negative, but they called it a positive. During my early stages, Bev put me in touch with Chip and Mercy. I already knew those folks and appreciated them and trusted them. They advised that I get on Avini's Cell Defender, Nino Silver, immunity, and hydration. Plus, they suggested some dietary changes. I later added balance to my program. At the end of 3 months, I was feeling much better. I was able to walk up the stairs to the clinic without using a handrail. And that was about, I don't know, a dozen or 15 steps.
Yes.
However, my PSA had gone up to 404. So I felt obligated, because the doctor had cooperated with me and allowed me, or agreed that I could go on natural protocol for 3 months. So at the end of 3 months, my PSA had gone up again. So I felt obligated to go along with his program, while continuing my Avini program. He agreed. 3 months later, that's in October of 24, my PSA was down to 6. That's from 404 to 6. In February of 25, it was 0.23. At that point, I added a balance, and this past month, first of the month, my PSA read 0.08. I'm now feeling exceptionally fit for an 88-year-old. Almost no pain, no catheter, thank goodness. And I was only up twice last night. I'd like to add this note. When I was at my sickest, I called in the elders of our church. And by the way, I didn't expect to make Christmas last year. That's how sick I was. Anyway, I called in the elders of our church, and they prayed over me according to James chapter 5. Tonight, I'm grateful to God and a lot of people for my recovery, and I'm happy to be able to continue to serve my Savior, the Lord Jesus Christ. In fact, today, I did a service for seniors in a senior home, and we do that every week, every Thursday. So I'm very blessed.
Loudon, thank you so much for sharing that. That's so much, your walk, your own personal testimonial. and so much hope for others, you
By
know.
the way, that's what I spoke on today.
Did you? Hope.
My blessed hope.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And keep riding that bicycle. I rode a bicycle this weekend. I've ridden a bicycle in 2 years, and I got it out and I rode. You know, it just felt really good to get back on it. And then my husband put air in the other bicycle tire, and I should put a picture up here of what happened. We put too much air in it, in the whole tube, and you have to see what happened in that bicycle. But keep riding because it is
To
great.
celebrate my 80th birthday, which is 8 years ago, I traveled the Confederation Trail in Prince Edward Island, and that's 270 some miles or kilometers. And I did it in 2 or 3 days.
My goodness.
So,
Good. And you mentioned the hydration. You like the hydration, right? That's amazing product.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that is amazing
I'm
product.
not
Thank
as
you.
not as consistent with that as I should be.
Bev, you know, you and Loudon live in PEI, but how do you build a business up there? There's not too many people up there, right?
Oh,
We're
well,
getting more every year.
we have about 180,000 now we're up to.
180,000.
But yeah, I actually use the phone a lot, but being on an island like that, you know a lot of people too, right? And but as Loudon says, there's a lot moving to the island now, and especially in the last 4 years, people were moving down from Ontario and wherever they could uh, to come here, and so we're blessed. I use the phone a lot because I was in constantly with my mom, and so I'm blessed to have a team. Um, and to work with Robin and Marcy and the strategists I call them too, and Marcy has taught me a lot, and it's just the company and the compensation plan is it's second to none. It's the top notch. So when you have a team and you love working with people, it just I was blessed I could do it on the phone and on Zooms. Now I get out though, but then it's like, shoo, you just talk to everybody. You can go here, you can talk to everybody and nobody gets upset because they just expect you to talk to them because it's the island way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you for sharing. I know your other gal wasn't able to be with us tonight, but did you say there was another quick story that you wanted to share, was it?
Yes, I did have one here. It was
And then
with
we'll let
her.
Eddie come on and share some of the products.
Okay, and I'll find that when Eddie wanted does. Oh, I had it right here. It is.
Okay, if you want, what we can do is you found it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead. We'll let you go first, and then Eddie will jump on and do some products for us.
Okay, great. She said, Bev, good news. I have been on the go. This lady's also 88. I have been on the go all day. Changed my bed, did laundry, set bread, made cookies, visited neighbors, took food to a friend who was kidney stones removed Thursday, dry mopped and wet mopped all my floors. I thought I haven't checked my blood pressure in a while, so I did it, and it was tonight. It was 118 over 65. Wow. The last time she checked it, it was 156 over 87, which was a month prior. I thought there must be a mistake and I rechecked it, but it was consistent. It must be the Cardio Plus. That is the only change I have made over the last several months. I thought you'd be happy to hear. I'm glad it's down. She also does some um, nursing in the fact of home care with people for a day or two a week.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Wow, she's mopping floors, cleaning, doing everything at 88, and she's still got some energy left. Love it. Can't wait to meet her. She going to Summit with you?
She may not know, but she lives an hour away and she
Oh,
drives. She's coming here tomorrow to see me.
oh, well, you
And,
tell her we want to have her on, okay?
okay, I'll tell her.
Yeah, thank you, Bevan. Thank you, Loudon. Eddie, would you join us a moment? We got about 10 more minutes, so if you can do some product for us, we would really appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. Hey guys, thank you, Bev and Loudon. That was inspiring, to say the least. So I'm going to hit 3 products. Christine asked me to touch on 3 of them, and then a quick story at the end. So the main thing that we could survive on alone without everything else that we offer is Cell Defender. And Cell Defender, for anybody that's on the call that is not familiar with how it has been created, it's from volcanic ash and lava that when it hits salt water forms nature's filter. The little cages are formed and they basically get washed up on the beach. And then Rick Deitch said, basically, hey, if this stuff is sucking in all the toxins from the air and the water and everything else, it's a negatively charged mineral. What if we could put that in the body? What if we could put that in our body and reduce it to the point where it get in the bloodstream and then take out all the heavy metals in our body? That the key is heavy metals with the Cell Defender. The World Health Organization says, and you can Google it, you can say, okay, Google every disease in the world, and heavy metals and environmental toxins are 99% of the cause. So we got the heavy metals covered with the Cell Defender. So what happens is he took it and he was able to, after 7 years of doing this, able to take it, micronize and activate it. And those are his words. So what that means is he was able to reduce that zeolite down, that little cage that's out there collecting all the toxins out there in the environment, and reduce it down to less than a micron. If you can think of a micron, you can't wrap your head around it. Take a piece of talcum powder and see if you can pick it up with your finger. It's impossible. All right. That is bigger than a micron. So he reduced it down less than a micron. Then he cleaned it, and he had to clean it and not compromise the structure of the cage. So when he cleaned it and activated and micronized it, now it's like a clean sponge. So when you take our Cell Defender, it's negatively charged. It is attracted to, and the positive, heavy, bad metals are attracted to it. So they come together and they're sucked into the cage. So the coolest part is, all right, you got cadmium, arsenic, lead, aluminum, everything bad. Every bad heavy metal is attracted and they're sucked in. The good metals, the calcium, magnesium, the sodium, those guys, they can't get in. They're positively charged, but they're kicked out. Basically, all the bad stuff is sucked into the cage. So when that happens, one drop of our Cell Defender is 200,000 little cages going in there looking for the bad guys. And 10 drops is, you do the numbers. So every time you urinate, after you take this, you're urinating out bad heavy metals. Then the other part is, when that happens, is the calcium and magnesium, which were tied to the mercury, they're able to thrive and make babies. So they can thrive after all that happens. So the Cell Defender is absolutely one of a kind. You can't find it anywhere else on the planet. And people try to copy it. Rick is the category creator of this. And so this is something that everybody in the world needs. I'm talking about from, like Chip and I talk about, womb to the tomb. It does not matter. Pregnant women to a 100-year-old guy. So that's Cell Defender. Nano Silver is the second punch to this. It's the 1-2 punch. The Nano takes care of the live things in the body. So the dead stuff is the bad heavy metals. Nano goes in and finds the live creatures, the bacteria, the yeast, the mold, the parasites, all that stuff. And the coolest thing about the Nano is that you have 2 options. We have the gel and we have the spray. So you take the Nano and you put it in your body. And what it does, it goes in, and this combo is, and Shu was in the service, and Chip, and I like to equate it to, I don't know, man, I just love to equate it to like an army inside of you. So you got the Cell Defender in there, and it's taking care of this front. Nano comes in. It's like, all right, we're going to get the live guys. And when it goes in the body, it illuminates the bad bacteria, yeast, mold, all that. So it lights them up. So when it lights them up, the white blood cells are like, hey, there it is, because they miss them sometimes. And when people have radiation and chemo, those cancer, I shouldn't say that, but the bad cell, anything that's bad in the body, it hides. So nano is able to go in there and identify them, and then they're flushed out. So nano silver to me is probably the most special product because it is just right in its size. We have colloidal silver, it's too big. It makes people blue. If you ever seen blue men, Google it. Colloidal's too big, it clumps up. Ionic silver is too tiny, it hurts the immune system. Our spherical nano is surrounded by silver oxide, which keeps the integrity of the nano, basically the sphere, in place. So those two things, that is the 1-2 punch. If you had nothing else, those two things would be great. But then Christine wanted me to talk about plus cardio.
Please.
Cardio? Yeah. So plus cardio, Rick at one of the conventions, I remember him saying that everybody says that congestive heart failure, there's no way to stop or reverse it. Well, some of the ingredients that he has in this, and has been proven that it stopped it in its tracks and taken it back a step. What it does, the heart is a muscle, and what the plus cardio does, it rejuvenates the cells and it expands the arteries and the capillaries to be able to get the blood running to the heart. So it increases the volume of that muscle so that it can function better. It builds better blood vessels, helps the heart rhythm. You know, I was diagnosed when I was 15 with a heart murmur. And I said, what does that mean? Like, oh, your heart skip beat every now and then. Okay, that's fine. Never had a problem with it. But it increases the heart rhythm and the functionality of the heart. Everything that's in the plus cardio that he put in there, you would have to find it in 3 different places and buy it in 3 different areas and incorporate that into what you're doing. And I think for me, the circulation is the biggest part because my stepdad just had stents put in his heart and he's getting ready to have valves put in his heart. And I have him on the plus cardio now. And so for me, it's like you got to open it up and get all the blood running to the heart, to that muscle, because it beats 24/7. And this product, I'll tell you guys, Wayne Rednauer, Wayne and I's buddy from North Carolina, and I got a minute and a half, right?
Yep.
He said, I know, keep me on the time frame. He said he was going down cutting wood all the time, right, Alan? And he said, man, he had a heart attack. And he called me, and we had some extra plus cardio. We sent him 5 bottles, and he was taking 5 a day. And he said, man, I went down there and I was cutting wood, I was chopping wood, and I had to walk back up the hill. He said, normally I feel a little bit of a tweak where I'm like, oh man, you know, something's happening. He said, since I've been doing it more often, I haven't felt a thing. It's a lifesaver. So guys, I'll tell you this, everything that we have, it covers the whole body. You know, we've got everything from the brain to the eyes to everything. But if you look at these 3 things, this is what we have is preventative. It is life-changing and life-saving. We have people walk out of hospice because when they're in hospice, it's like there's no chance. But when they get a hold of this, they walk out of hospice. We have people that recover from things, and it's only about cleaning the body. It's nothing. Rick Deitch, I met with him yesterday. He said, I hate when people say what I have cures them. It does not. We don't cure anything. What we do is we clean the body to where it heals itself. And I say this all the time. We are a homeopathic natural healing company. That's all we do. We subtract what shouldn't be in the body to where the good stuff you want to put in is more effective. That's all we do. And it's miraculous, the results that will happen from just doing that. Was it?
Good. Excellent job. Yeah, Eddie, I wrote it down one time. You said we're a natural holistic cleaning company for the entire body and whole family. Strive for peak performance and help yourself, as Chip says, to be the best and youngest version of yourself. And
Good.
it's evident tonight. We have amazing people with us as guests. Bev, can you unmute a minute? Because I'd like you to just share a parting thought, if you would, and then also Chip, if you'll unmute. Bev, what do you want to leave our audience with? Some advice.
People, I always kind of live by this. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
That's right.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for doing what you're doing, saving lives, sharing. Chip, we're going to let you do the closing. I was going to say closing argument, but it's not an argument.
Not an argument.
I was with two attorneys all day listening to some case stuff. But go ahead, Chip, if you don't mind. And I'll mute because my dogs are barking.
Well, I would just share a real cool moment between Bev, Ellis, and our family. We really do get to know each other. Like she says, I've been to her place, and she came. My daughter loved pageants, and she got to compete in the Miss Nebraska pageant several times. Well, one of her friends won the thing. That girl happened to be co-salutatorians of their class with her brother, our son, and Marcy and Bev and I and Jessica went to the Miss America pageant that year. And the girl from our little town, Scottsbluff, Nebraska, population 14,711, won the national in 2010. And Bev was in the audience with Jessica and Marcy. And Bev picked out a dress that Jess competed in the next year. And so, I mean, cool stuff like that, and I get a little, how amazing that we were together in that moment. I mean, my skin's crawling, got little goosebumps all over me thinking of those moments, and being up there in the area where she and Loudon live. When would I ever get to see that? How would I get to know what Prince Edward Island is like and be shown around by somebody that grew up there? I mean, it's the stuff. And network marketing, it will take you places and bring people into your life that are of great value to you. I hope you can feel that we really do know each other. We really do. We can do huge things. I mean, what would be going on if Loudon and Bev weren't buddies? Loudon maybe wouldn't have seen that Christmas, let alone be like you see him there right now, big smile on his face and telling stories, and I get to know them, not just a little bit, a lot. And same way with, I think, everybody I see on the call here. I feel like we've done something big and important together, each and every one of us. So I just want to maybe highlight the reality of it all, Christine, and I hand it back to you.
Thank you, Chip. And you're absolutely right. You never know who you're going to meet. A year ago, I didn't know Steve. Steve's on the call with here, Steve Lacasse. He and I met, and now Steve and I are joined at the hip, right? We're talking every day. We're working. We live in the same town. And whoever thought in a couple weeks, July 12th, we're going to New Jersey to the Prudential Center. We're going to see Tim Tebow, John Maxwell, Ed Milet. We're going to and Deborah Watson. So, that's what Avini does. It brings you together for, at first it's sometimes a problem that gets you here, right? You have a health problem, or somebody you love has a health problem, and someone cared enough to share it with you. So I'm just encouraging each and every one of you, keep coming to all the calls, come to this call, come to those 11 o'clock calls every day, keep learning, and you never know where you're going to wind up. Now, I found out who DJ is, just so you know. DJ is my Dorata, who I spoke about earlier. She's the translator, so God bless her. She helped do the translation today, and she and I are going on a trimaran, is it? On a boat, if anybody wants to come in a couple of years, right? One of her new distributors owns a cool boat, so it's up on the vision board. So dream big, real important. Dream big, don't give up on your dreams, right, Bev? Let's go out, let's change the world. And remember, I'll leave you with this. As Rick always says, a cleaner body can fix itself. So let's go do it. All right. Next week, Dave Johnson is our guest. So yeah, so next week, July 3rd, we're going to celebrate with fireworks. Dave Johnson will be our guest. So get lots of guests on the phone, on the Avini Vibes, and we'll see you all next week. Okay. God bless you. Thank you. Thanks for being here tonight. Bev Loudon, thank you for being our guest. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Night.
Been
Good night,
real.
all. Good night.
Bye.